Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's new feature update webinar for Simple Fund 360. We will begin shortly at 11:30. I can still see people pouring in. So let's give everyone another couple of minutes to join us. And just while we're waiting, if you can hear me all right and can see my screen share, give us a thumbs up on the Q&A box, and then we should make a start pretty soon. All right, thank you. For those that responded with a thumbs up, looks like we are good to go. And I think we got a question there. Yes, today's session will be recorded. So it will be made available on the BGL community page. So if you do have to step away or don't catch anything, don't stress. You can always watch the recording. All right, we'll wait another minute for everyone to sign in, and then we'll make a start. All right, I think we are on the dot, and welcome once again to those who have just joined us. My name is Joanne. I'm one of the Simple Fund 360 product manager, and it's my privilege to be able to showcase to you all the new features and exciting improvements that the team has put out for the last two updates. Okay, so just a bit of housekeeping before we begin. Today's session will be recorded as mentioned, it will be made available on the BGL community page. All attendees will be in listen-only mode, which means you will not be able to ask questions through your telephone or microphone, but you can type your questions into the Q&A box. And I have a few colleagues of mine. They are Lucky, Sid, Krish, and Andrew, who have kindly volunteered to help us with the questions throughout today's webinar. Okay, here is a snapshot of the topics that we'll be covering today. Two big ones there: contribution caps, indexation starting 1st July this year, and also in special time of the year, tax time for the 2021. We'll go through all that soon, and also various improvements around reports, data feed, and also property dashboard. Okay, so let's jump into it. Under legislation changes, the first one there with the concessional contribution cap currently set at 25K. That was from the 1st of July 2017 due to the awardee figures for the December 2020 quarter. The concessional contribution caps is getting increased to 27,500 annually for all ages from the 1st of July this year, okay, which is not really far, another 3 weeks or so. And any unused concessional cap carry forward can be used on a rolling basis for 5 years for members with a total super balance, that's the TSB, of less than 500K. And that's looking at the TSB at 30 June the previous year. And then, so this measure actually came into effect from the 1st of July 2018. And the first year that you can access the unused cap is in the 2019-20 financial year. Okay, so this provides a good opportunity for members with a low TSB to top up their concessional cap. All right, similarly with non-concessional contribution caps, in short NCC, for the 2022 financial year, we'll see the standard cap getting increased from currently at 100K to 110K again from 1st of July. And then members under the age of 65 may have access up to 3 times the annual NCC, that is up to 330K in a single year under the bring forward rule. So if an individual has triggered a bring forward arrangement before the 1st of July 21, they will not have access to any additional cap space as a result of the increase to the NCC. The total super balance limit, which determines if an individual is entitled to use the non-concessional cap bring forward arrangements, will also increase from 1.6 million to 1.7 million from the 1st of July. Okay, this is part of the changes to the transfer balance cap getting indexed to 1.7 million. There was a measure originally announced in the 2019-20 federal budget to extend the age from 65 to 67 for the bring forward arrangement, which was supposed to come into effect 1st of July 2020. That has not been legislated, and it's still currently before Parliament. And in addition, in the recent announcement for the budget this year, they are repealing the work test for voluntary contribution for those aged 67 to 74. And this will allow access to bring forward arrangement as well. So let's keep an eye in this space. If this do get passed, then it's starting from the 1st of July 22 financial year. Okay, this table here is taken from ATO webpage, and it shows the TSB and how it relates to the bring forward, or rather, what the member is eligible to in terms of the bring forward cap and the period of the bring forward. This is starting from 1st of July this year. So in the first category there, if the TSB is less than 1.48 million, then the member will have access to the full 330K of bring forward cap for 3 years. And if the TSB falls into the second category, then they will only have access to 220K for 2 years. In the third category there will be no bring forward period. The member will only have access to the general non-concessional cap for that year of 110K. And finally, in the last category there, if the TSB is equals to or more than 1.7 million, then they will have a non-concessional cap of nil. Okay. So let's jump into 360 and go through the members' contribution dashboard to have a look at those few scenarios that we have discussed. Again, this increase in the cap is coming in starting 1st of July. So I'll switch this year to the next year to have a look at the caps. Okay, so first of all, the first member here, Matt, we can see that he's got a concessional cap of 27,500. However, he doesn't have access to the 5-year unused cap. And why is that? Okay, that's because he's got a TSB of more than 500K. All right. Then the next member here, Joanne Johnson, she has got access to the 5-year unused cap, okay, because she's got TSB of less than 500K. And so let's have a look at the breakdown in this unused cap table. You can expand and see the breakdown. So we can see that she's contributed not much in the last 2 years, the 2020 and 21 year. So she has plenty to carry forward to the 22 year. That's 47,000 that she's carrying forward. You can have a look at this cumulative carry forward unused. And you add that with the 27,500 cap from that current year. So that takes her up to 74,500. That provides a good opportunity for her to top up the concessional contribution. Okay, and then let's jump back into Matt and check out the non-concessional cap. We can see that he's triggered the bring forward, okay, and he's got a total bring forward of 300K. Okay, let's scroll down to the table here and see the breakdown. So the number in the bubbles indicate the year in the bring forward period. So it's easy for you to identify where they are at and also in which year they actually first triggered the bring forward. Okay, so we can see Matt triggered the bring forward in the 21 year, which is why he's not entitled to the increase of the 30,000 cap starting from 1st of July. So it's got a total bring forward cap of 300K. And then with Joanne Johnson, she has triggered the bring forward cap in that new financial year. And from what we remember, she's got a really low TSB, way below the 1.48 million. So she's got the full access to the full 330 bring forward cap. Okay, and then what about Bruno here? So Bruno, once again, he's also triggered the bring forward in the new financial year, but he's only got a total bring forward cap of 220K. Let's have a look. That's probably because of his TSB. His TSB is sitting at 1.56 million. I don't have a very good memory here. So let's jump back to the table. 1.56 sits in the second category here. Okay, so as you can see, the numbers now aren't very easy to memorize. And that is why we all need software. It's all taken care of by 360. So you don't need to worry about memorizing this. Okay. And also just to mention the changes that we went through in the contribution dashboard, the same changes have been applied to the contribution breakdown report. The information that you see is in both areas are pretty similar, just that the dashboard it looks a bit prettier and a little bit more a bit more visual. Okay, so the next item, we have improved the way we handle the non-concessional cap for members age 75 and above. So generally, you can't accept non-mandated contribution for members 75 years old and above. This is not from a recent legislation change. It's just that we've improved the way we handle it in 360. And the change similarly has been applied to the dashboard, the report, and also the entity workflow, and on the mobile app as well. That's engaged by BGL. And I've taken a screenshot here to show you on the slide. We can see in this fund, this member here, Elaine, she's 75 years old, and hence her non-concessional cap is showing 0. Okay. All right, let's move on. And I would like to show you an improvement here in the entity workflow page. There are heaps of filters here on the left-hand side. And for those who don't know, there is a little button here for you to expand or collapse. And when you click on it, it just expands the filter, makes it a little bit easier to see. And just scroll all the way down. What I want to show you is we've added the 1.7 million to these 2 filters here for the TSB and the total pension balance. Okay, so these filters here are really useful. For example, with this TSB, if I would like to see funds with members who has a TSB of under 500K. So to work out whether they are able to access the unused carry forward cap. So you can select these, and you're not restricted to just the amount range here. What you can do is after you select one, and you can change the amounts in here. So let's say I go, okay, and apply. Okay, so that filters the funds here for you. There was a webinar held by Matt and Elisa about 3 weeks ago on tax planning tips and tricks for the 2021 financial year. For those who missed that session, you can watch the recording on the BGL YouTube channel that goes into more details in this area. Okay. All right, moving on, the next topic, tax time. Okay, it is a special time of the year and very busy time for a lot of accountants. And once again, the team has delivered ahead of time for the tax update. So 360 has now been updated for the 2021 financial year, and you can gear up for the new year and start finalizing your 2021 tax planning, review any fund wind-ups, and also start preparing the annual return and as well as the fact finder. There are numerous tax time related functions that have been updated, and that includes the annual return export to zero, simple fund desktop tax return import enable as well for the 21 tax return. So that's for when you are migrating from the desktop to 360, you have the ability to export and import the annual return into 360 to lodge. Fund transfer has also been updated for the 21 year. Okay, let's jump into 360 to have a look. Okay, I'll just check if I've created entries for this fund. Okay, yep, that's ready to go. I've created entries and finalized this fund that I've prepared to do a demo on. So let's jump into tax compliance. Okay, so now it's been updated for the 21 year. In terms of changes to the return itself, there's really only one change. That's under the section B income. Just go down to this label here, label M, trust distribution. There is a new code E that's added for testamentary trust. Okay. If you have a fund winding up in the 2021 financial year, 360 will prepare the new return, but the lodgement will be using the 2020 file, as ATO is only switching on lodgement for the 2021 return towards the end of June. Okay. And another area that I would like to show you is, so the 2021 annual return is enabled for digital signing. In fact, not just the 21 year return, for the previous year returns as well, you can digitally sign them using, we currently support Adobe Sign and also DocuSign. Okay, so the way you do that is after you've selected the annual return, you use this button at the bottom, click into it and go through the process. If you have a few reports in your report pack, it will be listed here on the right hand side, and the report or the document with this blue pen icon here are indicating they are available for digital signing. So I won't go into the details of digital signing. There are past webinars again available on our YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out if you want to find out more and also our help page. Okay, so close out of that. Another area that we have updated for the 21 year is the fact finder. Go through that. Okay, so in the fact finder, we've updated and added the transfer balance personal cap. Okay, over here. So as part of the transfer balance cap getting indexed to 1.7 million starting 1st of July. And then under the opportunity planning, we've also updated to reflect the new contribution caps where we have discussed earlier, concessional cap going to 27,500 and non-concessional cap here going up to 100K. Okay. And another area that we are currently working on due to a recent announcement where the government is extending the temporary 50% reduction of the pension minimum drawdown, and they're extending that to 30 June 2022. The team is working on that and is looking to push out the update in the next release. Okay, let's move on. Reports, various report improvements have been made, and these are all from client feedback. The first one there, CGT register report. We have now added the investment sub-account code to the report. So all the investment reports now would have both the code and also the name. So that makes it a bit easier to identify the investment, as some of the names of the investments are a bit similar, things like your convertible notes and warrants. Okay. Okay, I'll just show you, go through all the reports, improvements. It takes a bit of time there as I'm preparing a number of reports. Okay, so that's the CGT register report. It's a code, okay, along with the name. And then the next report improvement is the investment strategy report, where we have updated the wording to mention the funds asset are invested in accordance to the trust deed, assessing the risk, where funds portfolio lacks diversification, and also to consider the need for insurance policy. Okay. We have added a brand new report, the detailed purchase and disposal. A number of clients have actually requested for this. For those who are familiar with desktop, this is the same report that you find on desktop. So it has pretty much the same format. Okay. And another new report we have added is the portfolio progress report. This has been requested by financial advisors using Xplan and Premium. This is to help track the portfolio's performance on a monthly, quarterly, or a yearly basis. It shows the total market value of the entity. So at the moment, what you see here is showing on a monthly basis. You can change the setting here under report, under options settings. And you have the options here to change it to yearly or quarterly, and also tweak the number of bars in the chart. Okay, and the final report improvement I would like to go through is we've now included the capital works deduction when calculating provision for deferred income tax, PDIT, and capital works deduction. Okay, I think I got the wrong year there. So in this report, the deferred tax REC report, the capital works deduction is included as an item under the tax deferred distribution. Okay, so this entry here is the capital works deduction from a property taken from the depreciation schedule. Back to the slides. All right, moving on. Data feed. Okay, the first one there is a huge improvement. Contract note service now imports trade on a real-time basis. And what that means is transactions and the documents will be imported into 360 within minutes of the trade taking place on the broker platform. So you no longer need to wait for the overnight processing. This is, however, subject to the immediacy of the brokers sending the confirmation email. But we know with most brokers, they're pretty good with this. So this is a pretty cool improvements. Next one there, with SelfWealth now supporting trading on the US market, contract note service has also been updated in 360 to now accept international trades from SelfWealth. With contract note service, we've added a new broker, that's JMP Strategic Investments. ASIC, both contract note service and direct feed are now supported, and any existing ComSec advisor direct feeds and contract note feed will automatically be included as part of the ASIC feed. BT has migrated a new batch of BT Wrap accounts to their BT Panorama platform, and 360 has automatically created the Panorama feeds for any accounts that has migrated. So you don't have to worry about doing anything. They are doing this in batches, and all BT Wrap accounts will be eventually migrated. We are constantly updating the corporate action data, and what we've done is we've added this merger corporate action that you see on the slide there up until end of May. ComSec direct feed. We've improved the way balance data is handled, where balance date is now updated on a daily basis, even though balance data remain unchanged. Okay, the balance date here. And previously, the balance date would only change if there was a trade. And also, fully disposed investments will now show zero balance, as shown in the example here in this balance review screen. Okay, property dashboard. There are a couple of improvements where we now allow creation of farming property in the dashboard, and also added the ability to attach documents like title documents. Okay, let's jump into investments, property dashboard. Okay, so to add a property, you use this button here and search by the address. Let's do one now. Okay, let's go with that. And when you tap through, the security code will be populated for you, and switch this toggle on for farming property and click on add account. Okay, and another improvement here is you can attach documents through the edit. Okay, expand this section here. You can either drag and drop, or I like to click and browse. Let's see. Okay, I'll attach this file here, click on upload and save. Okay, once you do that, you see a little paperclip icon here, just indicating that that's an attachment. Okay, while we are on this topic of uploading documents to 360, what we have done is we've improved the security and added an antivirus solution where we scan all documents that are being uploaded to both Simple Fund and also Simple Invest 360. Okay, so I'll just show you. Okay, doesn't matter what documents, or doesn't matter where in the software or where in the product that you're uploading the document, whether you're doing it in the dashboard or in work papers, in distribution screen, or even in the transaction screen, the antivirus scan will actually kick in. And in the event where a virus, or the file has detected a virus, what we'll do is in the document screen, we'll show an exclamation mark here, just indicating that the file is likely to be infected. When you click on it, once again, it'll alert you, we've detected signs of ransomware, just alerting you before you download or view the document. Okay. Okay, a couple of months back, we have implemented a setting here for reports in the batch screen, where we allow users to hide the member TFN and also the date of birth in the reports. They were actually in the one setting. However, we've received further feedback from clients asking to separate them. We've taken those suggestions on board and implemented them. So for example, for this batch, I've set to hide them. Just to show you an example, using the member statement. Okay, you would see, okay, I think I jumped ahead of myself. I didn't select the correct batch. Okay, just take one step back. That's the ABC accountants. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, so I've hidden both. We can see the date of birth and the TFN. It's just showing provided or not provided. Okay, so moving on. Making good progress here, just checking everyone is with me so far. We do have quite a lot of content to get through. This is for the last 2 updates, so bear with me. Hopefully you are benefiting from this. Okay, next topic here with matching. In the matching rule where you have split matching rule scenarios and using the dollar allocation type, we've now improved where you can use a variable balance amount and allocate that to an account. So it's probably easier to show you what I mean and jump into the matching rules. Okay, in the step 4 here, say I have a common transaction that has got auditor fees and also accounting fees together. What I can do is I may want to, so I'll just change this to dollar. and say this is 500, and I know, okay, the remaining balance of that transaction will be to accounting fees. And instead of specifying an amount, you can now use this checkbox here. So it will allocate the remaining amount or the balance amount. Okay. Next is for work papers. In the scenario where you have contract notes in a match transaction scenario. So in this screenshot here on the slides, the example we have here is we have WTC and WMI trade that are settling on the same day and matched to the same bank transaction. We have now improved the way documents or contract notes are being attached to accounts in the work paper section, where the contract notes are no longer attached to the wrong investment account. That is, they are only attached to the respective investment account, which is what you see at the bottom screenshot here. Previously, both these contract notes were actually attached to both the accounts. Okay. All right, Simple Invest 360. A lot of exciting new features and improvements have been going on in this space. It is still currently in a closed beta stage. Just to name a few big improvements or new features, a brand new income streaming function added for discretionary and testamentary trusts for frank distributions and capital gains. The ability to populate entity details in Simple Invest by pulling the data from existing trusts and companies in CAS 360. And also Simple Invest been updated as well for the 21 financial year, with the tax reconciliation and statement of taxable income being updated for those entity types. I won't have time to actually go into the details for Simple Invest today. However, if you are interested, there is a separate webinar that's coming up. And yeah, if you're interested to find out more about these new features, do join us for that webinar. Please stay tuned for the dates. And in terms of commercial release, that's coming really soon as well. All right, I think we're doing pretty good with time, and that wraps up all the updates for the last two releases. And as promised, I'll give you a quick review or preview, I should say, of what the team is currently working on. The first one there, practice management integration with Reckon APS for contacts integration. We do currently support integration with Zero Practice Manager, Zero HQ, GreatSoft, and also Sage. We're constantly adding more partners onto the digital signing platform, and the team is working on adding Fuse Sign, and as mentioned, currently supporting Adobe Sign and DocuSign. The third item there, yeah, I think I've already covered that, something that the team is currently working on and looking to push out for the next release for the extension of the 50% reduction for minimum pension. Okay, and the last item, Superstream rollovers. This is a huge project, something that the team has been really busy working on even from last year and for the coming months as well. We have received a number of queries around this topic, and I think there are some confusion as well. So I thought it'll be fitting to give you a quick overview of what this rollover entails, and hopefully that would address some of your doubts. So with Superstream rollover, the message is getting extended to include SMSF and also digital release authorities. The rollover would include death benefit rollover, and release authorities covers those products there on the slides. That's First Home Super Saver, excess contribution and contribution tax, the division 293. What's important is the third point there. From 1st of October 21, your fund will need to use Superstream to roll over any super to or from your SMSF. This will support rollovers between APRA fund and SMSF and vice versa, as well as rollover between SMSF and another SMSF. Some of you may have the date 31st of March 21 in mind. You are not wrong. That's actually the legislation due date. However, government has given what they call a transition period of 6 months for the implementation of up to 30th of September this year. But the important date is you just need to remember 1st of October. That's when we need to be compliant. The next point, the next important point I would like to highlight is you must have an active registration with ESA, and that's electronic service address. That's a special internet address different from an email address. And from 1st of October this year, if you don't have an active ESA, you will not be able to roll over funds to or from your SMSF. Release authority in this case will be issued to you in paper via the mail. So BGL has been partnering with Australia Post and also using Australia Post ESA for Superstream contribution, and will be extending this to rollovers. So if the SMSF that you are managing is already registered for Superstream via 360, then come 1st of October, if the fund were to receive a rollover, so a roll-in, then there's nothing much more that you need to do. The process will be taken care of by 360. However, if it is a roll out of the SMSF into another SMSF, then there are a couple of new verification services that we'll need to make use of. And just for your information, those are what we call the SMSF verification service, in short, SVS, and also SMSF member tick. These two services are provided by ATO. You don't have to worry too much about this. It will be again taken care of by 360 as part of the rollover process. And as we draw closer to 1st of October, we'll be publishing more materials on this topic. And I believe ATO is planning to do the same. On the slides there, I've included 2 links to the ATO website. If you can check that out, there's a bit of information on rollovers. Hopefully, this will clarify some of the questions that you have. All right, I think that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you to all who have joined us today, especially, busy time of the year. Really appreciate you taking the time out. I hope that this has been beneficial to help you use the software a bit better. For those who need to move on to your next meeting or next task, once again, thank you for joining us. And you can rewatch the recording on the BGL community page. And for those of us who have a bit more time to spare, let's have a look at the questions and see if we have any that we haven't covered yet. Okay, we have a question there by Jody. On desktop, I have to pay for the Australia Post Superstream. When migrating funds, do I need to register Superstream again? So Jody, what will happen is if the registration on desktop, because you make the payment directly to Australia Post, BGL actually doesn't handle the payment. If the registration is still valid, not expired, then when you migrate the fund over to 360, that will be transferred directly to 360. And good point as well, I'll just clarify the registration for Superstream on 360, there is no expiry date. So, and also maybe I'll just quickly show you where you can check that for whether the fund is registered. So you go to Connect, Superstream. This is the page where you would check whether the fund is registered. You've got these tabs here. You can filter, so you can easily see, whether the funds are registered or not. Okay. Okay, another question here on Superstream by German. Superstream will continue free of charge within Australia Post. So as mentioned, if you're registering the fund through 360, then in terms of the registration, yes, it will be free to clients and there's no expiry date. However, if you register directly through the Australia Post website, then a fee is chargeable. I think we have a question here from Philip about the member statement, members balance automatically. Okay, the first part there, members balance automatically showing unrestricted once a member turns 65. There is a function in the member screen where it's not really automated per se, but you can actually, not sure if we have an example here to show you. Okay, yeah, we might have here. So you can use this convert function. If they hit 65 years old, you can use this to convert to account-based or trace retirement, and that will go through and be able to move the members balance to unrestricted. And then the second part of Philip's question there, option to not disclose member code on member statement. I think this is one of the wish listed item is we'll review that with the team and see what we can do. So thanks, Philip, for your question. Okay, a question by Marianne. For Superstream release authorities, will they come into 360 even if we are not the tax agent for the member? Okay, interesting. So in terms of the Superstream rollover and release authorities, interesting. I think I might have to go and find out more about this question. We'll get back to you, Marian, on the answer. Yeah, I just don't want to give you the wrong information. Okay, but we'll get back to you on this. All right, I think we pretty much answered, covered all the questions. And so, yeah, thanks again for those who have join us, and we'll go through the questions and get back to clients where the answers are pending. And yeah, till the next time. All right. Bye all.